I don't like to double dip much, but on a day like today, where we had ourselves the big news that Jay Woodcroft is fired and Connor McDavid's old Erie Otters coach is hired, you kinda have to focus on where the money is. So today, what I wanted to do was not wait any longer and talk about this notable NHL player of the past that had some really interesting things to say regarding the Oilers and their situation. Now, of course, you know from the title of the thumbnail, today we are talking about Sean Avery once again. And we make a few videos here and there about Avery over the years. He's definitely not somebody that's gone away. He, of course, was one of the most notorious NHL players in his heyday. He was famous for his antics, he was famous for distracting Marty Brodeur, he had a lot of moments, he had a nasty side to his game, and ever since retiring, he has become a fairly notable media personality related to the hockey world. Not only does he do appearances where he talks about stuff hockey-related, but as we have said in multiple videos throughout the past, he actually is an actor now. And he acts in some pretty legit movies. The one that he was in most recently that everybody is probably familiar with is Oppenheimer. Yeah, he was in Christopher Nolan's most recent cinematic masterpiece. He also was in Christopher Nolan's last film before Oppenheimer, Tenet. Not to mention he was in Amsterdam 2 and a few other extra movies. He's been in a lot of things that you might actually recognize. But all Christopher Nolan movies aside, Sean Avery had himself a Twitter post the other day that went pretty viral, wherein he takes a shot and pretty much calls out Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. Now, the video is going to be linked in the description if you want to go ahead and listen to it yourself, but it's 2 minutes and 20 seconds long, and it's titled A Message to Connor McDavid and the Oilers. Oh boy. Now, to help us out with what exactly is said here, we're going over onto hockeypatrol.com because Dawson McKenzie wrote an article talking about what the video actually says, and what McKenzie does is they transcribe the Sean Avery video, so it's easier for me to screenshot, put it on the screen, and get the message across as to what Sean Avery is essentially saying in this clip. Now, I don't think I need to provide too much backstory because I think anybody with a TV who watches the NHL on a consistent basis would know the Oilers have sucked this year. Sure, they won yesterday, but they still got the coach fired, which is kinda sad, to be honest, but the goaltending has not been great this season. Their top stars, Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, have gone pointless in back-to-back games for the first time in years. There was a stat yesterday that said that this is only like the 8th time that the Oilers won a game wherein McDavid and Draisaitl did not get a point. Like, some crazy stat going on, I don't know off the top of my head. Maybe that was it, maybe it wasn't, but don't quote me on it either way. Sean Avery goes out there in his video talking about McDavid and the Oilers and says this: "What do you want? You want to fire the coach? Tell him to go get a tan somewhere? Send him to Cancun to recharge? Pay him for not coaching? You want to blame Kenny Holland? Or do you just want to say the buck stops with the big boys? Darnell Nurse makes $9 million a year. High and hard off the glass? Come on. Nick Lidstrom made $9 million a year. Nick Lidstrom, one of the greatest defensemen to ever play in the NHL. You got Connor McDavid at 12.5 mil, Leon's at 9, and he doesn't even want to answer your questions, and Connor looks like he's aged 30 years. Fresh-faced baby Connor McDavid, remember him? I don't. That's because he's been through the gosh darn meat grinder of the Canadian media." And this is something that was talked about in the video, but this idea that guys like Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid have their game faces, they have their responsibilities. For a guy like Leon Draisaitl to ignore the media sometimes, it is quite interesting, especially for a Canadian market where a big emphasis is placed on the responses and thoughts of the players after these games. Leon Draisaitl may not technically be one of the top paid players on the team. Darnell Nurse, Connor McDavid, they both make more money than him. But he still is one of the best players in the NHL, and as a result, there's a certain level of responsibility that is thrusted upon your shoulders whether you like it or not. So, in the face of adversity, in the face of the media, I mean, I will say it was at least good that Draisaitl had the interview against the San Jose loss. That was quite entertaining, not gonna lie. You could say it was sad and maybe unnecessary to get the interview done, but hey, he did it, so good on him. But it definitely has not been the most consistent thing. As for Connor McDavid, the guy has indeed looked so off. We're seeing a lot of fan speculation asking, hey, is he injured? He has to be. There's no way he's not with the way he is playing. We saw in the Vancouver game both McDavid and Draisaitl losing their cool. McDavid, of course, with the cross-check, Draisaitl with the misconduct. The morale has been running low lately. And maybe that is why the coaching and the situation there has gone the way it has, where it's like, yeah, we'll just get everybody who is associated with McDavid onto this team, so maybe we'll get the gears turning and try to activate that side of his mind again. That is assuming, of course, he is fully healthy and he just hasn't been playing well. Not that he's hurt or anything like that, but yeah. Going over to some of the other comments made by Sean Avery, though, he does say this at the end. You gotta show up, and you gotta play, and you gotta win games. Otherwise, the fans are gonna turn on you. And I don't ever want to see a video of you crying because you're about to put on an LA Kings jersey on. We want you to win a Stanley Cup. Oh, and by the way, before Wayne left, he won 4. And so essentially, the idea you could gather more so from this video of Sean Avery is, Connor McDavid, you gotta step up. Leon Draisaitl, you gotta step up. You gotta face the media, you gotta do your interviews. Edmonton, you guys gotta step up. This team has slowly been trending in the right direction after yesterday's win. A return to form for the Oilers in the most non-Oilers way possible. Sure, Zach Hyman getting the goals, you got the other guys showing up and producing points. Stuart Skinner finally had a good game. Statistically, at least. So, good for them. McDavid and Draisaitl, though, still 0 points on the night. That is a very particular kind of winning strategy. Sure, we noted that the Oilers' depth needs to be better, but hey, one game is one game. We'll see where exactly this goes as the rest of the year goes on. And whether or not this new coach of theirs is actually going to be able to manifest some sort of a rejuvenation in McDavid's play. I mean, I joked around about this in the last video, but what are they going to do? Just put Connor Brown and McDavid together? Tell them to do the same thing they did in the OHL? What, are you going to sign Dane Fox now? You're going to trade for Alex DeBrincat? You're going to get Dylan Strome from the Washington Capitals too? There are so many things that you could do to fully squeeze out the, oh, we just got to get every connection to McDavid possible onto the Oilers. And this could be the first part of that. Connor Brown is already on the team. McDavid's agent is already up there on this team too. Now it's the old coach. Oh boy, we're gonna have to wait and see what happens here. But either way, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about the way Sean Avery called out the McDavid and Draisaitl-led Edmonton Oilers? How do you feel about the way that he phrased some of these ideas, that Connor McDavid has to step up, that Connor McDavid is the $12.5 million superstar that he has been paid to be, therefore it is more so on him to be able to carry his own weight? What are your thoughts on the idea that Leon Draisaitl needs to do more interviews? Jay Woodcroft is already gone, so maybe that's part 1 of this entire thing boiling down. Links are going to be in the description if you want to go ahead and listen to the Sean Avery clip, as well as read the Hockey Patrol article that dissects it all. But either way, let me know your thoughts in the comments about this entire Edmonton circus and the conversations behind everything. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, the Oilers, the new head coach, whose name I have admittedly forgotten, which, yeah, that's not good on me. What was his name again? Chris Knobloch? Yeah, that's what it was. We'll see how he does. I mean, oh boy, this is going to be interesting. The guy's an AHL coach, and now he's coaching 2 of the best players in the world. Just give the puck to McDavid and let him prove everybody right. Right? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. 99. And bye.